welcome back to the Football Rundown. This is Rob and we are with TFR tonight. Stockport County take on Forest Green Rovers in the FA Cup first round this weekend. It's going to be an interesting game for Stockport County on the back of winning the game, 4-1 win against Reading on Tuesday night in League One. A surprise win for me for Stockport County. Like I say, went into that game, wasn't really expecting too much, to be honest, given the last couple of weeks. The performances and the results, as we've said many times, had not been up to scratch before that game against Reading on Tuesday night. So pleasantly surprised that we won the game, and pleasantly surprised that we won it as well as we did. And I said it probably at half time, just before half time actually in the vlog. I think I said it's been arguably our best performance in one half all season, and coming away from the game, I'd probably say it's been our best performance in a whole 90 minutes all season. I think that's probably fair to say. And like I say, yeah, pleasantly surprised that we got the win, pleasantly surprised that we played as well as we did. I still don't think it was a perfect performance. I still don't think we played, I still don't think we can come away from that game saying we played the perfect game, to be honest, but a lot of positives to take from it, especially given the last couple of weeks. So you've got to take it where they come, and where the good performances come. And I think we definitely saw that on Tuesday, and we saw the potential in a lot of players which maybe we weren't expecting to see. Tyler ONYANGO being one in particular. Luis Fiorini did well as well, which probably before that I hadn't seen enough to say there's a player in him there. But I thought he played very well as well. I think it was probably at fault for the goal that we conceded. To be fair, looked a bit standoffish, but other than that, he played well overall. But yeah, like I say, I think ONYANGO was the biggest surprise. Obviously surprised that Will Collar started. Didn't see that one coming, given he hadn't been involved in the matchday squad prior to that game, so to come straight back in and start the game, I thought was a surprise. But he came in and was a very important player for us, and it's no surprise that he comes back in and we get back to winning ways, because he is one of our most important players, and that showed on Tuesday. So I'm glad that we've got him back, and I'm glad we're back going to winning ways, and I'm glad that we've got a cup game against a team which is let's be honest, it's a non-league side. We definitely could have had tougher games. And I know we've obviously got to stay calm, and we know that look, we've been in the position Forest Green Rovers are in now, where they're a non-league side, the National League side, they're playing a team in League One in the cup. Anything can happen. Don't get me wrong, we're well aware of that. I mean, look back sort of 3 years ago, but it is a game which really we should be expected to win. So I'm glad that we've won the game on Tuesday. We've got the confidence, and it's set up very well to be a game which we should really win. But yeah, like I say, we had Walsall in the third round the season before last. We obviously should have won that one. That was a home game. We had Aldershot last season, again another non-league side. We didn't win that one. Once went to a replay as well. So we haven't won games that like this kind of game in the last couple of seasons, but it is one you should expect to win. And as I say, given the fact that we won midweek, it's set up pretty well to have another game where we should look to win. And like I say, we got a tough game on Tuesday, so I'm glad we got this kind of game where you possibly can rest a few players and still win the game. I think it'll be interesting to see what team Dave Challoner goes with. But yeah, like I say, I'm happy with the draw we've got. Of course, you can always lose these kind of games, and you'll look back and go, well, I wish we hadn't got a Forest Green. But look, like I said, it could have been tougher teams we could have faced. We could have faced teams in League One, League Two. So the fact we've got a non-league side is a positive, but it is a team that's doing very, 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 very well at the moment in National League as well. That has to be respected as well. So this is a little bit of information we've got just before we get into the nuts and bolts of it. Stockport County, of course, progressed from the first round in each of the last 4 seasons, I believe. They progressed to the third round on just 2 occasions, though, losing to both West Ham and Walsall. I remember when we drew West Ham, I think it was a bit of a shame, really, that it was the COVID season where it was behind closed doors and you couldn't have fans in the ground, because that would have been a game I would love to have gone to. As someone who's probably getting new into County at that point in time, that's the kind of game which does get new fans in, because it's a mouth-watering tie, and unfortunately we couldn't have fans in the ground, and it's a shame we haven't managed to have a Premier League opposition since then, apart from I suppose Leicester in the Carabao Cup. But the FA Cup is a better competition than FA Cup than the League Cup, isn't it? And then of course we lost to Walsall as well, which I just mentioned, which was, if I remember correctly, we should have won that game really, and Walsall used a bit of the dark arts, I suppose, in that game. But could be wrong, but let me know your thoughts on that one. We should have probably gone through in that game, to be honest. So yeah, County have not gone past the third round of the FA Cup since the 2000 to 2001 season, when they reached the fifth round. I'm not even sure if I was born then. I might have just been born. That's how long ago it was. But yeah, when they reached the fifth round, entering in round 3, they beat Preston North End and Crewe Alexandra before losing 4-0 to Tottenham Hotspur. Each of those games was played away from home that season. I mean, I'd take Tottenham away this season. That by all means, stadium's meant to be very, very good to go to, but I think we'd probably get back to the similar scoreline as well, to be honest. And like I said earlier, it's coming up 3 years since that famous comeback against Bolton Wanderers in the FA Cup. Like Forest Green Rovers now, we were, of course, in the National League against the League One opposition, away from home, managing to take it to a replay in Dave Challoner's first game in charge, I believe. We drew 2-2 before facing them exactly 10 days later, beating Bromley 1-0 in the National League in between each game before going on to win against Bolton in the replay, despite being 3-1 down after just half an hour. And I remember that one because that was a big game for me. The Bolton game, the replay at Edgeley Park. That was one where it was probably the first time I went in the football ground post-COVID, and I went in and I thought, wow, just what an atmosphere. That was a big moment for me, and sort of wanting to follow County a bit more because I was just there, experiencing the atmosphere that day. It was fantastic, and I've never looked back since, really. But yeah, brilliant night, and I'd love to have another similar run in the cup this season as well. But I don't think you'd ever sort of get that sort of feeling again of being 3-1 down, thinking, oh God, what is going on here? And then going on to win like we did was just a fantastic result, and one that will live long in the memory, I'm sure, for Stockport County fans, especially if you were there. So yeah, coming up 3 years feels like a very long time ago, to be honest, but it's been a brilliant couple of years since then as well, hasn't it? And as I say, apparently it was Dave Challoner's first game, that sort of away tie, the initial game, I suppose. Let's just have a quick look at the league tables for both teams. Of course, in League One, Stockport County are in 10th place in the table, just a place behind Reading, who they beat at Tuesday night. So yeah, they've got Wickham coming up on Tuesday. They currently sit second. Birmingham, of course, still top. Wrexham in third. Mansfield looking strong in League One in fourth. Lincoln in fifth. Bolton Wanderers, who as we mentioned, we played 3 years ago in the FA Cup first round. They're currently sixth in the table, just in that final playoff position. Huddersfield are just outside in seventh. And having a look at the bottom half of the table, Peterborough just outside the top half in 13th. They're just a mad team at the moment, scoring loads of goals, but also letting a lot of goals in as well. Rotherham, who I think beat us in one of the stages of the FA Cup, maybe in recent years, I could be wrong. They're currently 14th. Stevenage, of course, Blackpool, Bristol Rovers as well, 17th. Northampton and Wigan have dropped down the table in recent weeks. Cambridge are, doing quite well. They're almost out of that relegation zone as well as it stands. They're doing tremendously well over the last couple of weeks. Unchanged in the bottom four, actually, since the previous match day. Then we have a quick look at the National League table. Of course, Forest Green Rovers sit in second place in the table, just behind York City by a point. They're doing very, very well since their relegation from League 2 last season. And of course, you can see quite a lot of familiar names in that National League table, in the top half of the table. Rochdale, who aren't too far away from us. Altrincham, another who we faced in pre-season at the beginning of last season. Solihull, who missed out on a playoff position last season. I think they reached the final, actually, in the National League and lost to Bromley. Halifax, of course, we played on our final game of the National League season when we earned promotion in 21-22. Sutton United, of course, who we beat, I think we put 8 past them, was 8-0 last December. They're currently 12th in the National League table, and of course you can see the bottom half of the National League table as well. Dave Challoner's former club, Hartlepool, currently in 15th, and Tamworth in 16th. That one rings a bell for me. So Forest Green Rovers, 10 wins from 16 league games so far this season, 4 wins from their last 5 league games. Their last defeat came against Oldham Athletic, who of course we faced in pre-season this summer. They lost to them. That's the fact their most recent defeat was a 1-0 defeat to them on the 24th of September. Forest Green have lost just once away all season when they lost 1-0 to Barnet. I think that was back in August as well. Stockport County, of course, beat Forest Green Rovers in both meetings last season in League 2. The first meeting took place at Edgeley Park in October of last season, winning 2-0 with Tanto Alafi and Anthony Sarcevic scoring both the goals. The next meeting came in March when Camps scored a wonder goal. I remember that one as well. Fantastic goal to witness at the ground. That put the Hatters 1-0 up. Rico Richards scored the second as well, before Connor Lemonhay Evans closed the scoring with a third county goal coming away with a big 3 points towards the League Two title. In my head, it always feels like we won the game more comfortably than that in terms of scoreline, but maybe it's just because of how much we outplayed them with the ball. I don't know, but like I say, I always felt like we dominated and scored more than that in that final in that away game. Sorry, obviously we didn't. Opposition news should be an interesting one for some to keep an eye on. County will face the Forest Green Rovers side that has Harry Cardwell in their ranks. Many will remember Harry from his loan spell at County during the 2021 season, where I think he joined in the January or February that year. Ben Tozer, of course, is an ex-Wrexham player. He's renowned for his long throw ability, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that one. He joined them in the summer when his contract with Wrexham expired. Christian Deutsch is Forest Green's top goal scorer. Let me know if I pronounced that correctly as well. He's their top goal scorer in the National League this season with 7 goals from 12 starts. Former Manchester United and Rangers midfielder Charlie McCann has 5 league goals to his name already this season as well. Both scored in the last stage of the FA Cup there, the qualifying round against Weymouth in a 2-0 win. The FA Cup, it's the magic of the FA Cup, isn't it? It's a cliche, but I always enjoy the FA Cup. I always look forward to it. My expectations, the FA Cup are always fairly high. Like I always expect us to go into the second or third round. Maybe that's unrealistic, but I think as we progress as a football club, we certainly have to sort of look at going further in the FA Cup than we have done over the last couple of seasons. And ultimately, we all want to go and face Premier League opposition or a higher end Championship opposition. We want a good away day. That's what we all want from the cup. We know that realistically we're not going to majorly that far in it. We're not going to win it, but we just want to have a good run if we can afford to, and it not cost us a league position too much, and have some good away days. So hopefully that we can get that from the FA Cup. In terms of predictions for the FA Cup this season, it's about getting to the third round when the Premier League and Championship teams come in. Can we get a decent, away tie? Can we get a decent Premier League game? Like I say, even Championship, Ellen Road, Riverside Stadium, whatever, you name it, decent away day, I'd be happy with. So third round will be the expectation for me. Let me know your thoughts on that one. What are your predictions and expectations from Stockport County in the FA Cup this season? And do you worry that it could hamper our league form? Because that does often come into it. Last season, the argument was, do we want to go far in the cup? It could derail our title charge. The argument this season is, can we afford to? Because if we do, how far are we going to drop down the league? Well, for me, I think we've got a big enough squad. Having said that, a couple of injuries, and then you're looking at the team and it looks very thin. So, there's always two ways of looking at it. But I think the squad is strong enough. I think certainly this round as well, we can afford to put out a fairly strong squad, which is still rotated, but also strong enough to beat Forest Green, in my opinion. So, I want to get your thoughts on that one. And there's a question: do you feel like it's worth going for? Do you feel like it's worth the potential risk of playing some first team players and the risk of them potentially picking up an injury or being not 100% at it for the next league game? Like I say, it is a big league game as well coming up next on Tuesday against Wickham, and then it's Bolton, and then it's Wrexham. So it's sort of just before some really, really big League One games. So some people might say rest your better players for those games. I could understand both arguments, but really we want to see a good cup run, don't we? We want to go far in the cup as far as we can, and we all want a decent Premier League away day, hopefully. So yeah, that's my thoughts. And if we can get to the third round, I'd be happy with that. That's almost an expectation and a prediction. I think we'll do it. I think the squad's strong enough to get to at least the third round, and that's what I'd like to see. So yeah, that's my predictions and expectations all in one. As for Stockport County, I think I've missed something here as well. And I'm going to mention that now. Stockport County, team news. Like I say, Cheltenham surprised a lot of people, I think, when Will Cullen started the game on Tuesday night. I don't know if we'll see any more surprises like that. I don't know if we're going to see any players back. I didn't hear anything in the post-match interview which suggested any players going to be back from injury. So, are we going to see any players like Noyle, Southern Hales, Rydell return this weekend? It's unlikely because I've not heard any news on that one. I think we will go strong. I think Dave Chalmers said something along those lines. I think he's been asked about it. I'll just bring up his post-match comments from Tuesday night, where he made some interesting comments actually. But I think he said So here's one of the quotes. Lewis Bate was excellent and we had a few standouts, but for me, Tyler ONYANGO will be man of the match. I agree with him on that one. I think it's a big game for him on Saturday as well if he starts, which I think he should, and I expect him to. I hope his start to the season has been the making of him and we can all go on and see now what a good player he is. He's learning that position. 100% agree with that one. He also spoke about Adai as well. So he said that it's always tough making those decisions. I stand by that. I felt it was to give us the chance to win on the day. As a manager, you can think and overthink things, and I always make those decisions. And I think stand us in the best position to win games. Interesting. Then asked about the FA Cup. He said the FA Cup is a lucrative for the club and always a great opportunity to get a good draw down the line. We have to be selective and have an eye in the league games coming up. But it's a competition we absolutely want to progress in and will take seriously. So he's talking about going strong and taking it seriously there, which is music to my ears, to be honest. He also said we have to be careful with our team selection, but we will absolutely be fielding a side on Saturday that we feel will be a front foot and can go about winning the game like it was tonight. We have some players who are really, really close to returning. So there we go. So that's the quote. I didn't actually see that one earlier. I also just want to mention as well that defender Jido KK has joined Rochdale on a loan for the remaining of the 24-25 campaign, so he won't be involved at the weekend. All the best to him, of course, on loan at Rochdale for the rest of the season. So yeah, he said it there. That's the interesting quote. He said, absolutely we're going to go strong. Very, very certain on that one. That's what we want to see. We really want to see that. But he also said something very interesting as well, that we have some players who are really, really close to returning. So is that Southern Hales? Is that Kyle Noyle? I'd like to think that one of those right back options is available for us. I think we do need a right back in the team. As good as ONYANGO was on Tuesday, in that sort of right centre half position in the back three, I think we'd be better with a back four with a right back, and I can't wait for a right back to be available for us. But like I said the other day, the risk is always that one comes back and we rush him back too quickly. I think the fact that Tyler ONYANGO played well in that right centre half position, if he can find consistency in that position, that buys us time, because if he can perform well and we can trust him in that position in the back three, then that means we're not going to rush a right back into the team to go back to a back four. But I don't know. It's one good performance out of maybe two or three where he hasn't played well. So we've got to give him time. But obviously he's created an expectation now by playing well, and I expect him to start the game on Saturday and hopefully show a bit more of what he showed on Tuesday. But yeah, going back to it, are we going to see any players come back from injury? I wouldn't put my money on it, to be honest. But then I wouldn't have put my money on Will Collar coming back, and he came back and was absolutely essential to us. So it'd be an interesting one. Like I say, I expect ONYANGO to start because he did play well on Tuesday. His height will come in handy as well against the Forest Green Rovers side, which is quite a tall team, I believe. Ryan Innes particularly stands out at 6'6". Although I think he was sent off in their last game against Woking, so I assume he'll be suspended for that match. But ONYANGO also had a spell at Forest Green Rovers in 2023, I believe, when he joined his former academy manager, Duncan Ferguson, who had newly been appointed Forest Green's manager at the time. So I think he'll want to play against them and maybe not prove a point, but it's always good to get one over a previous team where maybe it didn't work out. I think he was part of that team which was relegated from League One with him, so he can show that he's a better player than that. And I think he'll be keen to start anyway on Saturday because he wants minutes. I also think he'll start Michael Mellon and Tanto up front. I think that'd be the right decision. I think both of them are looking like they need minutes. Both need to look like they need to get back up to speed. Playing time's been limited for both of them so far this season, even with Tanto. And I think that him and Mellon probably need those minutes, and I think that's a good opportunity. I said it a couple of weeks ago, that's Michael Mellon's game. So if he can get a look in, start the game, that's his opportunity. So hope he does get that. But yeah, without further ado, we're going to go with the team that I think Dave Challoner will go with. I do think we'll go with that back three again, which we've been kind of forced into going with the injuries so far this season. I do think Ben Hinchliffe will be in goal. I think he's the cup goalkeeper. I think Corey Adai is very much the league goalkeeper. I think there was some debate about it, but I think Dave Challoner put that to bed by picking him for the game on Tuesday back in goal. So I think that was a big boost for Corey Adai, and I think we'll see Ben Hinchliffe come in goal on Saturday in the Cup. Connolly, I think, will come in alongside ONYANGO and Sam Hughes as a back three. I think that's what Challoner will go with. I think he'll go with Ibi, Toure and Jaden Fevrier as the right wing backs. I thought Fevrier did really well when he came on late on against Reading. I think he'll start as a right wing back with Lewis Bay man the match midweek, with Ollie Norwood in midfield, with Lewis Fiorini just ahead, and of course Michael Mellon and Tanto Alafi up front. I've gone with the same formation again. I think we are going to be in that back three. There was a few times I'd be like, I want to see us play 4-2-3-1, but I think that the back three is probably the best for us at this point in time, with us not having a proper right back. So I think Hinchliffe in goal again, ONYANGO, Sam Hughes, but Ethan Pye instead of Connolly. I think we need at least one of them, sort of experienced or regulars, regular defenders in that back three, just for familiarity. I think if you went with a whole back three of players who aren't regulars, you're asking for trouble. So I think give Horsfall a day off, bring in Ethan Pye with Hughes and ONYANGO at the back. That should be enough. That should be strong enough, hopefully. Then I've gone with Will Collar at right wing back, which is an interesting position for him, but you do see him go up and down that right hand side quite a few times anyway, and I think that that could be a position he could possibly go in. So get your thoughts on that one. It's a little bit of an out there selection for me, with Will Collar at right wing back, Ibi Toure, of course, at left wing back, Bate and Norwood in midfield, Fiorini as well, no arguments there, and of course I've also gone with Michael Mellon and Tanto Alafi to start. I want to see more from Michael Mellon. We've not seen enough of him so far this season, and of course Tanto as well. We want to see a bit more of him, get him scoring again, get that confidence up. That would be the brilliant way to go into what will be a big game on Tuesday as well. Again, another game at Edgeley Park against Wycombe. So that's my thoughts on that one. I am hopeful that we'll win the game, but then again, look at Aldershot last season. But look, I'm trying to be positive here. Let's forget about Aldershot. Let's forget about other games. I'm confident. We're playing a very good team at the moment in the National League, but we're also not doing too bad ourselves, and that was a big win for us on Tuesday as well. So I think we're going to win the game. You'd expect to win the game, to be honest, as a League One team against the National League side. I think we will win the game. I'll go with a 3-0 score prediction for Stockport County. I'm obviously very confident we'll be in that second round, and like I say, I just want to get to that third round and get a Premier League team. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it in the cup. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win. I'm going to go with Michael Mellon start ONYANGO to be a key player as well in the game on Saturday. And that's my thoughts on everything. Stockport County this week, of course. I will be doing the match vlog as well on Saturday, so do keep your eyes peeled for that one. And of course, I will also be doing the game on Tuesday night as well. So yeah, get your thoughts in on Stockport County. Get your thoughts in on the FA Cup, whether or not you think we should go for it or not, or do you think we should rest players for Wycombe on Tuesday night? Get your thoughts in on that one in the comment section. Of course, like the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, thanks for watching.